Hi, and welcome to the Wycliffe Library. I'm Miss Lori, and I am here to book talk to middle grade readers two really fabulous books that I have read recently. First one being Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus, which, wow, what a title. What can this book be about? This is written by Dusty Bowling, and I would like to tell you a little bit more about it. I'm going to read the inside flap and then read a little bit for you to understand what is happening in the book. Hopefully enough to get you excited to read it. Avon Green didn't lose her arms in an alligator wrestling match or a wildfire in Tanzania. That's just what she tells people when she gets the looks. The truth is, Avon was born without arms. But at age 13, that hasn't stopped her from doing almost anything. Then her parents take a job running Stagecoach Pass, a rundown Western theme park in Arizona, and Avon has to leave everything she knows behind. Avon struggles to make friends at her new school, where the kids can't seem to see past her missing arms. But her life takes an unexpected turn when she meets Connor, a classmate who also feels isolated because of his own disability. Together, they discover an old storage shed at the park that holds bigger secrets than Avon ever could have imagined. It's hard to solve a mystery, help a friend, and face your fears, but Avon's about to find out what she's capable of. So, a little mystery book on top of learning how to possibly interact with someone who has a disability. So, this little part that I'm going to read to you is Avon's family is sitting down to dinner, and her new friend, Connor, is there as well. So here we go. So Connor, Dad says, what are you interested in? I mean, besides pulling morbid pranks with my daughter and scaring our visitors away. Dad narrowed his eyes at me. You might want to rethink hanging out with her. She's a bad influence. And you have terrible sideburns, I said, unable to come up with anything better. He really did have bad sideburns. They were horribly uneven. Dad ignored me. So, he said, returning his attention to Connor. I like movies, Connor said. I have a huge movie collection at home. Oh, why don't I take you guys to the movies this weekend, Mom said, clearly thrilled I had made a friend. Connor looked appalled and shrunk down in his seat. He shook his head rapidly. No movie theaters. You don't go to the movies, I said? No way. I went only once since my tics started a few years ago, and it was not a fun experience. What happened, I asked. People complained, of course. No one wants to listen to a dog barking while they try to watch a movie. That's messed up, I said. People are so rude. They're not rude, Connor said. They don't know I have Tourette's. That's what makes it so embarrassing. I scrunched up my nose. You should wear a t-shirt that says, I have Tourette's on it, everywhere you go. Then people will leave you alone. Connor snorted. Yeah, maybe you can make me one, Avon. Then he kicked my foot under the table gently. Should we tell them, he whispered. Tell us what, Mom said. I gave my parents a highly serious look. We think there may be a murderer at Stagecoach Pass. Dad coughed and choked on his mouthful of pork chop. Mom slapped him on the back while he hacked his food into his napkin. When he could finally breathe, he gasped, What? Why would you think such a thing? I guess you have to read the book to find out. Again, it's called Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus. If you've ever known anyone who's had any disability, whether it be a physical disability or a learning disability or Tourette's syndrome, this might be a really good one for you to read to either help understand how they feel or to help maybe you deal with them like any other friend you might have. All right, on to the next one. This one is called Other Words for Home, and this one is written by Jasmine Warga. Jasmine Warga is an author that I recently book talked to the grade school, the middle school, and many of you were very interested in that one. And I believe it is called The Sounds of Thunder. So if you recall that one, if I book talked that one to you, This is by the same author, so if you were really interested in reading that one, I hope you're really interested in reading this one. So a little bit about this one. Jude never thought she'd be leaving her beloved older brother and father behind, all the way across the ocean in Syria. But when things in her hometown started becoming volatile, Jude and her mother were sent to live in Cincinnati, Ohio, with relatives. At first, everything in America seems too fast and too loud. The American movies Jude had always loved haven't quite prepared her for starting school in the United States. And her new label of Middle Eastern is an identity she's never known before. But this life also brings unexpected surprises. There are new friends, a whole new family, and a school musical that Jude just might try out for. Maybe America, too, is a place where Jude can be seen as she really is. So this book is a book written in verse, which again, to remind you, looks like this. So it reads like a story, but is written in verse. The little bit I would like to read to you is when she's in Ohio, in Cincinnati, with her uncle and her uncle's family. Just a little bit maybe to get an idea of how she feels being a foreigner living in America. My uncle's house is so big that it could fit 4 of my old apartments inside it. It has 3 whole stories and shiny wood floors that creak when you step on them. My uncle works all the time. He is an important doctor at an important hospital. So during the day, it's just Aunt Michelle, Mama, Sarah, and me. Our first few days in America are a blur of mornings that feel like nights and nights that feel like mornings. Plates of baked chicken and pasta, bowls of milky cereal, and lots of questions from Aunt Michelle. No matter how tired we are, Aunt Michelle forces us to get up and get out. We take long walks around our new neighborhood. Aunt Michelle charges ahead. Mama and me are sandwiched in the middle, and Sarah always walks slowly behind us, sulking a little. I keep expecting to see a cliff in Clifton, but so far I've only really found big hills and even bigger trees. Clifton is filled with old big houses. Aunt Michelle tells us that their house is over 100 years old, and I can tell she's proud of this, but I'm not sure why. Everyone back home wants a new house, not an old one. When I ask Mama about it, she says Americans don't have much history, so they like to think they're old. At first, I don't think I will like the old house with its creaking wooden floors and steep staircases. Mama and I live in the bedroom on the top floor, the 3rd floor. But one morning when I wake up, the floor creaks and it sounds like the house is saying, hello. And that makes me feel less alone. The old house is slowly becoming my friend, my first American friend. There is so much to this story about missing her father and brother back home, about her trying to fit in America as a Middle Eastern young lady, and how others view her. So if you're interested in this book, Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warga. I hope to see you guys soon in person. Until then, Happy New Year.